This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 30th day of May in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. A second autopsy was completed on the body of 11-year-old Adriana Younge last evening in the U.S. state of Georgia. And the chief medical examiner who conducted an autopsy, Dr. Carol Terry, said based on her observations, the first autopsy was done correctly and thoroughly. However, she said there still needs to be a very thorough investigation of the circumstances surrounding the child's death, based on the information that was shared with her. The first autopsy, which was completed just over 3 weeks ago in Guyana by 3 foreign pathologists, including the chief medical examiner of the U.S. state of Delaware, concluded that Adriana Younge died by drowning. In an interview with the HGP-TV Nightly News following the completion of the second autopsy last evening, the chief medical examiner, Dr. Carol Terry, said she would not come to the conclusion of drowning as the cause of death at this time because there is still a lot of investigations that she believes needs to be done. She explained that drowning is a diagnosis of exclusion, which means that one would have to exclude other causes of death.
And oftentimes, when a body is found in water, the assumption is that the person has drowned. There is nothing at autopsy that is diagnostic of drowning. So again, that's what I mean by saying drowning is a diagnosis of exclusion. And in this case, what I have been told regarding the circumstances are so suspicious that I really think that there needs to be a very thorough investigation. And I would want to know the results of, say, toxicologic testing or drug testing from the first examination, as well as any additional testing that was done in accordance with the first autopsy.
Earlier this week, the Guyana Police Force released details of the findings of the first autopsy. That first autopsy, which included toxicology and DNA testing, found no signs of acute injury or trauma on the body of the child. Additionally, the toxicology results, according to the police, showed ethanol levels consistent with post-mortem decomposition, and there was no evidence of any type of sexual assault. The second autopsy also found no evidence of trauma on the body or organs of Adriana Younge, according to the chief medical examiner, Dr. Carol Terry. Questioned about whether she would be reluctant to conclude that the child drowned, Dr. Terry said she would be reluctant based on the circumstances that were reported to her. She said she would recommend a thorough criminal investigation. She repeatedly made references to what she was told about the circumstances surrounding the child's death. The Guyana Police Force, in its statement earlier this week, said both the post-mortem examination done in Guyana and the investigation by a Canadian homicide detective found no evidence of foul play in the death of Adriana Younge. The chief medical examiner who conducted the second autopsy said she has taken samples from the body for further testing and to complete her report. She said she believes she overtook samples since she will not get another opportunity to examine the body again. She noted that based on the previous post-mortem examination being completed and with decomposition as well as embalming of the body taking place, the body would have lost some forensic value at this stage.
It's a second autopsy. So we have issues of artifacts that are introduced by the first autopsy. We've got decomposition that has taken place, and we've got embalming that has occurred. Now, so that introduces a lot of artifact to the body, and it compromises the examination somewhat. But this diagnosis and this investigation doesn't hinge just on the autopsy. It primarily hinges on the investigation of the death or the investigation of any potential crime that occurred in association with this child's disappearance.
Dr. Terry said she would also need to see the results of the first post-mortem examination and any testing that was done during the first autopsy. She said she saw her second autopsy as more of doing quality control.
I think the first examination, at least technically from what I could see in association with doing the second autopsy, was done very competently and thoroughly, and I would want to see what the results are.
With the second autopsy now completed, the family of Adriana Younge will be making plans for the return of the body to Guyana and her funeral. The family's lead attorney, Dexter Todd, has blasted the police force over its investigations and has said the file on the investigation cannot be closed as yet. Adriana Younge was found dead in the pool of the Doubleday Hotel in Tushin, one day after she was reported missing at the same location back in April. Suspicions rose after it was reported that several previous checks of the same pool came up empty-handed. Initially, the police had claimed that it was in receipt of video evidence that showed the girl leaving the hotel in a car. However, the police later admitted that the information was false. The discovery of the girl's body led to widespread protests for a number of days. The family opted to have the second post-mortem examination done after rejecting the early findings of that first examination. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Did you know that local businesses are now providing 100% of several key services to the oil and gas sector? This highlights the significant achievements in local content development. In 2020, only 5% of selected services were provided by Guyanese companies. Presently, that number has reached 100%. Some of the fully Guyanese provided services include scaffolding, transportation and immigration support, with the inclusion of visa applications. The expansion of local capacity has led to increased investments and job creation. Hundreds of companies are benefiting from the oil and gas industry, and so can you. To access opportunities like these in the oil and gas sector, visit the local content secretariat's supplier portal.
The Ministry of Education wishes to announce that the Because We Care Cash Grant and the Uniform and School Supplies Grant will begin distribution from May 12, 2025. Please note, however, that distribution will begin later in May and in some cases June for certain regions. Therefore, we encourage all parents and guardians to consult the published distribution schedule to confirm when their grant will be available.
So, what's been given this year?
The grant has been increased to $55,000 per child. This includes $50,000 for the Because We Care cash grant and $5,000 for the uniform and school supplies grant.
Who qualifies for this grant?
All public and private school learners from nursery year 1 to grade 10 who are registered and attending school are eligible. In grade 11, only students who will register for CAPE grade 12 in September qualify, along with current grade 12 students who will be continuing to grade 13. For children entering nursery this year, they must have been registered by March 28, 2025.
How do I collect the grant?
The parent or assigned guardian of the child can uplift the grant at the child's school. Just make sure to bring a valid form of ID, your national ID card, passport, or driver's license.
What if I don't have any of those IDs?
No worries, your identity can be verified by a senior official in your community, such as the school's principal or village tusho.
Suppose I can't go myself to collect it. What then?
You can authorize someone else to collect the grant on your behalf.
What happens if I miss the date?
If you miss the scheduled date at your school, a later collection date will be announced, but this will only happen after the national distribution is completed, so it's best to collect it as scheduled if possible. Got more questions? Check the Ministry of Education's social media pages or contact your child's school for more information. In service to you, because we care.
Well, the Guyana Elections Commission has announced that nomination day for political parties and their candidates contesting the upcoming elections will be on the 14th of July. The elections are set to take place on the 1st of September, as announced by President Irfan Ali. In a statement this afternoon, GCOM said political parties will be required to submit their list of candidates on the 14th of July, and that the statutory forms for the submission of those lists of candidates are currently available on the Commission's website, gcom.org.gy. The elections body also announced that ahead of nomination day, political parties will be required to submit applications for the allocation of symbols for approval by the Commission by the 22nd of June. GCOM said, recognizing that the Commission has been conducting continuous registration throughout the year since January of 2023, a short claims and objections exercise will be held from the 16th to the 20th of June. The exercise is in keeping with the legal requirement to produce an official list of electors to be used for the conduct of the elections. GCOM reminded that eligible persons who will be 18 years and older by the 30th of June and have not been registered can apply for registration during that period to be included in the official list of electors to be eligible to vote in the upcoming elections. Persons who are already registered can apply for correction of incorrect particulars on their national ID cards, name change if they have changed their names since they were registered, and transfers if they have changed their addresses. With its work plan for the upcoming elections approved by the Elections Commission, the Secretariat of GCOM has been authorized to proceed with the implementation of the task outlined in the work plan to ensure the upcoming elections are conducted in a free, fair, and transparent manner. The APNU and the WPA coalition today said it is preparing for the upcoming general and regional elections on the 1st of September, but warns that failure by the Elections Commission to conduct free and fair elections could have serious negative consequences. In a statement, the APNU-WPA coalition noted that while it will campaign and participate in the upcoming elections, it is doing so with the understanding that GCOM has continuously failed to live up to its constitutional mandate of delivering elections of the highest standard of fairness and integrity, and which can win the confidence of the people of Guyana. The opposition coalition said that many, if not all of its demands since 2020, which includes a demand for a clean voters list, have not been met, and therefore concluded that the Elections Commission has been operating in a partisan manner. According to the coalition, its decision to participate also did not ignore the fact that over the years, GCOM has refused to meet its demands for a clean voters list and the use of fingerprint biometrics at the place of poll. It said as such, these elections remain highly vulnerable to manipulate and fraud. The safeguards to ensure integrity can be readily breached, as they have already seen during the registration process, where persons can register without adequate proof of identity, the coalition noted. The coalition, headed by leader of the PNC Reform, Aubrey Norton, also said that while it has serious problems with GCOM's elections machinery, it decided not to boycott the elections, since such a decision would allow the PPP to gain control of all the national and regional political space in the country. In addition, the coalition said, should it stay away from the polls, it will deny Guyanese the opportunity to express their support for the APNU-WPA coalition and their rejection of the PPP government through their votes. The coalition said it is confident that it can win the elections once those elections are free and fair, and will not underestimate the challenges it is facing in thwarting the will of the electorate. The Alliance for Change today announced that it will be contesting the general and regional elections on the 1st of September. But though the prospects of it forming part of a combined opposition appear slim, it intends to form alliances with like-minded individuals. Leader of the AFC, Nigel Hughes, at a press conference today, said his party, the AFC, went above and beyond to find a resolution that would have resulted in a combined opposition. The AFC was in talks with its former partner in government, the APNU, that's a Partnership for National Unity. But those talks ended in April with no agreement.
What I can say is that I am very, very happy with the endeavors of our negotiators at several stages, and I certainly at a personal level, after that did not bear fruit, endeavored to try and reach a position in which we thought that we can offer to the country a combined opposition.
Mr. Hughes said the AFC remains committed to whatever is in the best interest of the country.
Well, what I will say, it is we are always committed to whatever is in the best interest of Guyana. That is always our first and foremost position. And I can say without any hesitation or any pangs of conscience that we have done our utmost best up to the very last moment to attempt to arrive at a position in which we can offer to Guyana the optimal choice. And we are convinced and confident in our position at the moment. And that is where we are, I'm afraid.
The APNU, led by opposition leader Aubrey Norton, who is also the leader of the PNC Reform, has moved ahead with a partnership with the Working People's Alliance. Hughes said he is confident in the fortunes of the Alliance for Change, adding that within the next 3 months the party will be making some very exciting announcements. Questioned whether those announcements include a partnership with city billionaire Azruddin Mohammed, who has also entered the electoral race, and whether the party was in talks with him about a possible coalition, Hughes said the two sides have had no such discussion, but there are still 3 months ahead of them. He said that he welcomed the announcement by Mohammed, noting that added competition would force the contesting parties to improve their game.
I welcome Mr. Mohammed into this election cycle. It gives Guyanese a wider range of choices. And anything that offers the electorate a wider range of choices is good. I think for a long time we have had limited choices, excuse me, up to 2006. And Mr. Mohammed clearly has had an impact on the electorate, and we welcome him.
The chairman of the AFC, David Patterson, however, clarified that the party will be establishing alliances with like-minded persons to contest the upcoming elections.
Look, technically there is, until nomination day, that is when technically all possibilities are closed. Huh? So anything, so if you say so, that bear in mind that. And then there's also other possibilities of a joiner list and those other things 10 days before elections.
The AFC says it intends to focus on the cost of living, governance, indigenous development, and indigenous land rights, education, health reform, adjustments in the tax system, infrastructure development, and address the many issues plaguing the country's oil and gas sectors as part of its campaign.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. It is the civic duty and legal responsibility of all Guyanese who meet the eligibility criteria to apply for registration. By doing so, you would be ensuring that you are issued a national identification card and be included in the official list of electors for future elections, providing you meet all eligibility criteria. This registration exercise will end on May 30, 2025. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at another address since you were registered. For more information, contact the GCOM on 2250-277-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, SR Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Meadows, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Carlvin Burnett, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D, and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate, and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Need small appliance for your kitchen? Giftland have it. Need fridge or stove? Giftland have it. Speakers or laptop? Giftland have it. I'm telling you, Giftland have everything. And don't get me started on TVs. 58-inch, 65-inch, 70-inch, 75-inch. All sizes in leading brands. Best thing about it, they give a warranty. Man, Giftland is the place for all your electronics purchases.
Washi. Hi people, washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washi me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have me clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
President Irfan Ali on Thursday noted the need for legislation to mandate supermarkets to have specific shelves to market agriculture and agro-processing products from Guyana, saying such a move will expand markets for local farmers and create sustainability. Addressing farmers in Region 6, the president said the government will be looking at additional ways to support cash crop farmers.
We have to bring specific legislation that mandates supermarkets operating in Guyana to carry special shelves with produce, agriculture produce and other agro-processing produce produced here in Guyana. So that when you walk in any supermarket, you can go through shelves in which Guyanese production is showcased.
Mr. Ali also promised farmers that the government will be opening up new lands in the region for agriculture, increase drainage and irrigation, and to support farmers in land preparation and put machinery directly in the hands of farmers through various groups.
We want our small farmers to be able to plant smarter. We want women to be able to have their cash crop farms under better condition, with a shale house, a hydroponic house. With hydroponics, in 1 acre on this crushed surface, we can produce sometimes more than 5 acres in the open farm.
Further, the president also promised to expand rice production in the Berbice region. He promised more fertilizer and fuel subsidies for rice farmers to increase their yields.
So one of the things that we will support you on, we have to co-invest on the storage and drying facility, modern storage and drying facility. 2, we have to continue to work with you on increasing yield and productivity. 3, we will be working with you on how to create these integrated farms and identify crops with the technology and the support for you to start up these integrated farms.
As it related to other subsectors, President Ali said additional attention will be paid to the sugar industry, noting that Berbice remains an important region for agriculture in Guyana. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell and Minister within that same ministry, Susan Rodriguez, have urged house lot beneficiaries in New Amsterdam to re-elect their party, the PPP, at the upcoming elections. The two ministers made a campaign-style plea as they were speaking at the Central Housing and Planning Authority's Dream Realized event in New Amsterdam this morning, where a total of 1,800 house lots are to be allocated. For her part, Minister Susan Rodriguez told the allottees that the number of house lots that will be distributed in the region over the next 2 days will bring the total number of allocations to more than 50,000 over the last 5 years.
In Region 6 alone, we have distributed 3,555 lots. But we still have a small backlog in the region because every day people are coming to us. People have seen the delivery in the housing sector, and young people are coming to us every day. As soon as they attain the age of 21 years old, they're coming to us and submitting their applications. So all of the time the demand keeps increasing, so we have to make more lands available.
Minister Rodriguez promised that the government will continue to expand the housing program across the country, with more land allocations and the distribution of homes.
And so when people have to elect a government of their choice, then you have to carefully examine who's working and who is not, who has ideas and who do not, who is better for the future, my future and the future of my children, and who will jeopardize that future.
Meanwhile, the Housing Minister Colin Crowell said the Housing Ministry will begin infrastructure work in all the new housing schemes almost immediately, so that persons can have access to their lands to begin construction.
That on average, it costs a minimum of $5 million to do just basic infrastructure work where your lot will be. So if you get the area and you have the responsibility to develop that portion in which you will like, $5 million a minimum on average. And that is why we say to you, whatever is being accosted today is highly subsidized.
The Housing Minister outlined the ministry's plans for road expansion and other infrastructure works in the region, and told the allottees that those plans can only be achieved through a renewed mandate for his government.
So come September 1, which is just 3 months away, or just 2 days more than 3 months. For us, that's just a score sheet, whereby the mandate, we have a refreshed mandate, we go out to the population and we ask you to put your X to a political party that you want to continue to move your country. Put your X to a political party that you know will ensure that the children or this baby that is in front here, that their future is secured. Put your X towards where you know a political party that will take your country and yourselves and your family to be able to say, yes, I am no longer in a developing country, but I am onwards to a developed country.
The government has been pushing a massive housing program across the country with increased distribution of house lots. However, in many areas, the allottees have complained about being allocated land and forced to wait years before they are allowed access to begin their construction. Tonight, searches are ongoing in the Younge River for a missing soldier. The Guyana Defense Force said that troops stationed at Bang and Macapa on the Guyana-Venezuela border are engaged in efforts to locate one of its ranks, Lance Corporal Stefan Tudor. He was part of a riverine patrol in the Younge River yesterday. Lance Corporal Tudor reportedly fell into the river in the vicinity of the Macapa Rapids between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The GDF said it will spare no resources to continue its efforts and has since communicated with the family of the Lance Corporal as the searches are ongoing. The GDF says it remains committed to the operational safety of all of its officers and ranks. A board of inquiry has since been convened to investigate the circumstances surrounding the incident, as the searches are ongoing tonight for that missing soldier.
The Father's Day Cultural Extravaganza is here again. Yes, it's dedication to Daddy 6 under the theme Stand Tall, Daddy, featuring Romo Edmondson, Letitia De Silva, Keisha Sam, Neelan Benjamin, Sonia Yard, Barbara Lee, Simone Dowding, Colin Ambrose, Frederick Minty, Antoine Gonzalez, Creative Arts Dance Troupe, and others. On Sunday, the 15th of June from 8 p.m. at the National Cultural Center. Tickets $2,500. Treat Dad to an unforgettable evening of wine, song, dance, and drama with an opportunity to win a fabulous door prize. Directed by Sharon Cadogan Taylor. Dedication to Daddy 6. Stand tall, Daddy.
The Ministry of Education wishes to announce that the Because We Care Cash Grant and the Uniform and School Supplies Grant will begin distribution from May 12, 2025. Please note, however, that distribution will begin later in May and in some cases June for certain regions. Therefore, we encourage all parents and guardians to consult the published distribution schedule to confirm when their grant will be available.
So, what's been given this year?
The grant has been increased to $55,000 per child. This includes $50,000 for the Because We Care Cash Grant and $5,000 for the Uniform and School Supplies Grant.
Who qualifies for this grant?
All public and private school learners from nursery year 1 to grade 10 who are registered and attending school are eligible. In grade 11, only students who will register for CAPE grade 12 in September qualify, along with current grade 12 students who will be continuing to grade 13. For children entering nursery this year, they must have been registered by March 28, 2025.
How do I collect the grant?
The parent or assigned guardian of the child can uplift the grant at the child's school. Just make sure to bring a valid form of ID, your national ID card, passport, or driver's license.
What if I don't have any of those IDs?
No worries, your identity can be verified by a senior official in your community, such as the school's principal or village tushao.
Suppose I can't go myself to collect it. What then?
You can authorize someone else to collect the grant on your behalf.
What happens if I miss the date?
If you miss the scheduled date at your school, a later collection date will be announced, but this will only happen after the national distribution is completed, so it's best to collect it as scheduled if possible. Got more questions? Check the Ministry of Education's social media pages or contact your child's school for more information. In service to you, because we care.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for days, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice of my drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development From the very core, 100% of Gaya's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Gaya Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall. In the region, the Electoral Reform Coalition, ERC, is calling on Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley not to attend the rally of the ruling Dominica Labour Party, DLP, on June 1, saying it is highly inappropriate for her to do so given that she is currently the chairman of the 15-member regional integration grouping, CARICOM. CMC, in a report, said in the 4-page letter sent to Prime Minister Mottley and copied to the CARICOM Secretary General, Dr. Carla Burnett, the ERC chairman, Johnson Boston, said she would be addressing an event less than 3 months after the government bulldozed electoral legislation in the House of Assembly and declared citizens' right to protest as patently illegal. Earlier this month, Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett said the DLP would not allow opposition forces to weaken the country as he defended the decision to introduce electoral reform. In a statement ahead of the DLP's 70th anniversary on June 1 this year, Scarrett said that the opposition forces now want to pretend that they care more about democracy. In March, the Dominican Parliament approved electoral reform legislation, given as police fired tear gas and rubber bullets at opposition supporters who claimed that the government had not been transparent enough in dealing with the matter. CARICOM Election Observation Mission, CEOM, has concluded that while there were some operational and staffing challenges, overall, the recent general elections in Suriname were peaceful and conducted in an atmosphere of robust civic engagement among the people. The government of Suriname invited the CEOM to observe the general elections on May 25, 2025. CEOM reported that the mission arrived in the Republic of Suriname on May 22 and departed on May 27. The mission, which comprised election practitioners from Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Trinidad and Tobago, was invited to observe the election process, collect data, and identify areas for improvement. The CEOM engaged President Chandrika Prasad Santokhi and met with other government officials, political parties, and civic organizations, during which a few concerns were raised, including the training of polling day staff, exclusion of candidates from local council ballots, the implications of the October 2023 amendment to the electoral law, and claims of potential voter fraud. On polling day, the team reportedly visited 136 polling stations across 6 districts. The mission observed that while there was an adequate supply of voting materials across polling stations, several stations in the capital opened late, some by over 90 minutes, due to staffing issues and apparent lack of preparedness among certain polling officials. However, most polling locations were accessible and well positioned, allowing voters, including those with disabilities, to cast ballots with ease. Voting was largely orderly, and the majority of staff performed efficiently despite isolated challenges, the mission reported further. And finally tonight, international news. President Donald Trump's administration can temporarily revoke the legal status of over 500,000 migrants living in the U.S., the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on Friday. The ruling put on hold a previous federal judge's order stopping the administration from ending the parole immigration program established by former President Joe Biden. The program protected immigrants fleeing economic and political turmoil in their home countries. The new order puts roughly 530 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, and Venezuela, among other countries, at risk of being deported. The parole program allows immigrants temporary status to work and live in the U.S. for 2 years because of urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit, according to the U.S. government. The Trump administration had filed an emergency appeal to the Supreme Court after a federal judge blocked the administration from ending the program, also known as CHNV humanitarian parole. The White House celebrated the opportunity to deport 500,000 invaders. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller told CNN. The Supreme Court justly stepped in, he said. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you an enjoyable weekend.